I'd like to call this July meeting to order. Let's have a word of prayer and then we'll do the pledge. Father, thank you for this day and this time. God, thank you for the school system, for the administration and the board members, and God, those willing to serve. I ask that you would give us wisdom, God, that we would make the best decisions for this school, for the teachers, and for the students. And God, help us tonight to do what you would have us to do and direct us the way you'd have us to go. We thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we have our consent items, which is our agenda, the minutes of the June 11th meeting, and a policy for revision, regular board meetings where we will be changing the board meetings till 5 o'clock. Have any questions about our consent items? If not, I'll accept the motion to approve the consent item.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Madison, second by Mr. Monroe. All in favor? Thank you, gentlemen. We don't have any public participation tonight, so we will move right on to our financials.
Good evening. This month's financials is May. As you can tell, our ad valorem taxes are up due to our millage rate increase. We've caught up on our intangible and real estate tax. Our title ad valorem tax, our vehicle ad valorem tax is a little higher than we expected this year. We did adjust the budget for that next year. Our other, that's our tuition. We collected all our tuition this year. Interest, rent, insurance reimbursements, miscellaneous stuff, it's all in there. Our QBE is up just due to FTE numbers. State grants, that was our teacher retention bonus and our school security grant is that. Medicaid is probably about exactly where we thought it would be. We have impact aid and a little ESSER money. ESSER sent us about 60 grand that we could put in the general fund. I don't really know what it was, but it was just money that we could spend on anything. So that is the last item. So our expenses are still where they've been all year. We are, I think, 3% under where we're supposed to be, which is about $500,000. A lot of that is in student transportation, as you can see, 64%. We did budget for 2 buses that we have not purchased yet, so that is something to consider. Balance sheet still the same. We have a little over $4 million in cash and security deposits. Everything else is pretty standard, just accounting with our AR and salaries and benefits. It's just how we accrue everything. And here's our year-to-date. So we are about $200K to the good, which is a lot better than the $2 million deficit we were planning for. Our SPLOST is over 100K again. You can see we collected 1.1 for the year. That is more than the $1 million a year we were expecting. It's something we need to look into this next school year about putting it back on the ballot. Keep going.
It ends in 25, is that right?
No, it does. Go back up, Stephen. I'm sorry. It does not end until 28, but the sooner we get it on the ballot,
Okay.
the easier it is to not stress over doing it in the longer term.
So, you got June on there too, is that right?
Yeah, that's actually June's payment. So May's
Okay.
financial, but June's payment. So we received it at the end of June. So I just went ahead and included it.
Okay, and May was 101,
Yes, sir.
609. Okay, that shot right over my head if we've already reviewed it.
And when we advertise it again, I know we've got like 50,000 a month budgeted. Will we raise that at that
Definitely.
time?
So I know Ms. Kay told me last time that they tell you to go off of what you're doing and then come up with an outrageous number to plan off of. And they did that and we still overshot it. So yeah, so they're looking at 5 million. We're probably looking at you know, 8, 9, maybe even 10 million as an estimate next time.
But you'll come up with that.
Correct,
So we raise that cap then.
correct. And here's just a summary of our accounts. Our SPOS is increasing again after making most of the payments out of it. It's up 400K. I think there's about 1.1 in the bond account. So 1.5 million sitting in our school bond account that we cannot pay early, or to my knowledge as of now, we cannot do anything else with it.
So
So it
we
runs through
won't,
June of '27.
we don't wanna pay off the 5 million before
We
we
cannot.
renew it, right?
We cannot.
Yeah, so we have to renew it, have it voted on, right?
Correct.
Okay.
I think that's something to look into probably next January, February, March before the May election. I'll keep you updated as well. So that's all for
crazy.
financials, if y'all have any questions.
It's crazy, that thing jumped $20,000 in 2 months.
Yeah.
That's a bunch.
Cox Brother houses is being sold.
I guess that's what it is.
So you, go back up just a little bit, I thought, did you say 4 million surplus or 400,000?
400,000.
That's, okay, all right.
But every dollar has, from Splash has to go toward the school.
I think, I was told that there may be some room in the bond stuff, but we have not figured that out yet.
Right now, that's what it does, so.
Right.
Correct,
Yeah.
it comes in, it sits in an account, draws interest, and we make bond payments. That's it.
And once the full bond payment is collected, then that goes towards something else if the
The next
county
one.
votes on them to renew it. Right.
Just goes to the next payment the next time and just sits there. Yeah, it'd be nice to find a way to do something with that money besides just going to the bond payment.
I was told that the wording is vague in the bond to where it's not just for the school building, it's for the school and all maintenance and upkeep, which you could use for some repairs and stuff. But I have not come across that yet. That's something we're working to figure out. That would be really nice to do.
Yes. We've been told that it couldn't be used for anything else.
I'm not 100% sure. I've heard mixed reviews from some former employees, and Dr. Gumby and I are going to try to figure it out. We just haven't found that answer yet.
We don't want to come up and have to pay it back.
No, sir.
We want to know for definite before we do something, before we start doing that. Any other questions on the financials? All right, thank you, sir.
Okay, our corrective action plan, we have already been through this. We had a finding on our ESSER wage report. What it was the feds want you to make sure you're paying the correct wages per employee for an electrician or plumber or such and such. So at the time of the audit, we did not have that on file. I take full responsibility for it. I will not blame that on anyone else. Our last thing to do is to get the board to approve of this corrective action plan and sign it, and that audit is behind us.
Okay.
So I will sit here, look at it, think about it, sign it later, whatever you would like.
Okay.
But this is the last piece of the audit. There's no monetary restraints to it. This is all we have left.
Which wage requirement is it?
Sir?
Bacon.
Davis Bacon.
Davis
Davis
Bacon.
Bacon, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it was over our flooring,
We'll take
the
that
elementary
executive
school, and the
session.
HVAC at the high school. But
And sign it back there.
Okay.
I'm making me do, oh, it don't matter, we can do it now, it doesn't matter to me. Everybody's-
Welcome, Dr. Gumby.
Yes,
sir.
good with it.
basically, we were told it is our job to review the rates and make sure they're paying right before we pay them. So easy fixing our policy, and we'll fix it moving forward.
Okay. Our next item is the YOS system.
Okay, in front of you, you have the action item for the YOS platform. We are recommending that we purchase this system. Mr. Norman and I, we've researched the company. We've had several webinars and meetings with them. This particular company and software program is going to combine a lot of the software programs that we're using now. Right now, if we have to key an item in for payroll or any other function, you may have to go through 5 or 6 different screens to get the answer or get the solution that you want out of the program. So this particular system combines our purchasing, our payroll system, and our employee login system or absences all into one system. You see the cost down here. Frontline costs almost $8,300 a year, and our eTrieve system, which is our financial platform, costs about $32,000. So those two systems together cost $40,577. And the beauty of this system, it partners and aligns with our financial system, PC Genesis, and our information system, Infinite Campus. Mr. Norman and I talked, it's almost too good to be true. And we had employees working today going through 30 years worth of books that we've been keeping on paper. And all of that is going to go into the YOS system, and we'll be able to get a report out now in 10 seconds, where in the past it took us 2 or 3 days. So that's just the efficiency of what this system can do. And this is just one part of it. It will also do field trips, keep track of field trips, and Mr. Norman, some other things?
It does a lot of the things that eTrieve and Frontline did, but then it expands on them. So you mentioned our payroll. It is going to our subs each month when we have a teacher out and a sub in. Instead of us hand keying all of that, we are going to now export it out of YOS and import it straight into our finance software to hopefully be more efficient and reduce errors.
Is this 40,000 an annual license fee?
Yes,
Correct.
Okay.
yes.
So it's
Is there any
basically-
other maintenance fees on top of it, or it's just, and do we have a future number, or do they guarantee a lot? for
They
so
did
many
like
years?
2 or 3%.
Every year.
Every year?
increase.
Okay, something real reasonable.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
You said it also do entry as far as employees too?
Yes. It's going to help us with our human resource department. And so when a new hire comes in, they'll be able to do all their paperwork online, and then that captures it in the system. And so it helps with human error. And even with payroll, I think for one person, let's say Mr. Cox is doing a after school for us. Our payroll specialist may have 30, 40 people doing that particular month. And she has to key in every single employee, maybe 4 or 5 different screens, okay? Well, now we can just upload all that at one time, import into YOS, and it spits it out. So it cuts back the human error.
How long has it been out there? I mean,
I did talk to Ms. Kay. Ms. Kay actually wanted to buy it years ago, but of course at the time she thought it was very expensive.
yeah.
Taylor, before Mr. Norman came, she wanted to purchase it, and now Mr. Norman went to the financial conference a couple of months ago, and now it is reasonable, and it's what we're already paying for 2 different systems, and
Yeah.
we're paying for one system now.
So the price basically is dropped,
same.
I guess?
Yes, yes.
I mean, I don't see what, it's a no-brainer, it seems to me like, so either they dropped their pricing or the other people went up on it, I'm just curious.
We talked to other systems who are using YOS, and they said the same thing. It's just a great program, and it's cut down the number of hours people spend working, so they could be doing something else, and just
Yeah.
saves time. and
The other
more
2
efficient.
systems are very corporate too. They're publicly owned. This company is not. They're very people friendly. They're very hands on. You call, you get a representative, and they want to fix your issue. So they also customize their software all the time for different school systems, and then they'll offer that customization out to all of their customers.
Okay.
So they're actually, like other finance directors, critiquing the software and asking for new stuff all the time, and they build it.
I assume it's a subscription type licensing.
Annual.
So if you don't renew it, you're not gonna use it. It's gonna lock up on you, yeah. Okay.
Other questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to accept the YOS system.
One more question.
All right.
How many years do you have to sign up with them?
It's annual.
Oh, just annual
Mhm.
deal, okay. All right, okay. That was it.
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion by Mr. Monroe,
Second.
second by Mr. Madison. All in favor? Thank you. The next item is the purchase of 2 buses.
Okay, I listed the minutes from the November 8th, 2022, from the board meeting for you, so you can have some background. Back then, we were to purchase 6 school buses for those over the next 3 years during that time, 2022 through 2025, and we received $88,110 toward the purchase of those buses. So that totals about $528,660 that must be spent by the FY25, which is the upcoming year. They were also to receive $12,000 additional dollars for each propane bus that they purchased. But since we didn't purchase all 6, we only purchased 4, it is my understanding that we won't receive those $12,000 additional dollars. Okay. And right now, we're requesting to purchase the 2 buses that we did not purchase 2 years ago. The new buses will cost $147,727. Mr. Scott and Ms. Dornberg has already got the quotes for us at $147,000, and we were able to customize the bus that we want. It is a propane bus, so the new buses will total $295,455. The district has received already $176,220. That's the $88,110 we received for each one of those buses back in 2022. So we still have that money, leaving us a balance of $119,235 to purchase these buses with. So I did bring Mr. Scott and his team in. If you have any questions about the previous bus payment versus our plan now to purchase those 2 buses.
The 88 times 2, where is that money? Is it in the general fund?
Yes, Mr. Norman, it's not there yet. It is sitting there waiting on us to draw down.
So,
As I say, correctly, it's in our grants. We have not received it yet.
so it doesn't show in your financial numbers yet?
No, sir, we have
Okay.
not, we have not actually received it yet because we have not purchased the
Okay.
bus. They won't receive the bus and then they'll send it.
Okay.
Takes like a week to get out there.
I appreciate them coming. They do have some numbers for you, the number of buses we have, and how many buses working, and some things that we're working on. So Mr. Gaines or Mr. Scott or Ms. Stormberg, if you would.
We do need the buses, right?
Yes.
How many don't have air conditioning?
Everything we running now has air conditioning except one. And the one that's not working, I'm waiting on parts. So it's got air, so I'm gonna have it fixed if it doesn't have my.
All the windows work.
I tell you what, a window today is not gonna help you. Ooh-wee.
Does everybody know where the button is to cut them on? Does everybody know where the button is to cut them on?
Some people don't.
Well, yeah, I think we've been there now, right?
So all the buses will have air conditioning the first
Got
day of
air
school?
conditioning on all the
First day of
buses.
school. Everybody will be air
I
conditioned.
hope so. I gotta make sure now, cause see, they've been sitting for what, 2 months? But they work, but they parked them, okay? It's air conditioning piece of equipment.
So have we had good service out of the propane buses? I mean, has that been a good move to do?
Pardon me, I couldn't hear.
The propane buses, have we had good service out of the propane?
You can't, you're not gonna get any better service than anything else.
Okay,
It is the thing for the state of Georgia, everybody's going to it.
very good.
And the cost of what you pay for your fuel plus your rebate, you get 36 cents rebate from the federal government on it. Plus, we're getting it for $1.31. So if you break all that down and the maintenance cost of the bus, it's cut our cost of operation way down.
The price of diesel is what now versus propane
right.
again?
Diesel's worth $4.
Whole lot and something,
Yeah.
it's last time.
We're gonna need to look in getting a bulk tank.
You need to look into that. A total of 4 buses to put everybody in one. Like I'm running 4 diesels every day. 4 new buses puts everybody in a propane bus. A bulk tank, you need at least 18,000 gallon tank.
You can get it about $1 a gallon.
What is that tank that's over there now? How big
We
is it?
got 1,000 tanks.
2,000 gallons over there, we need, what do you say, 18,000?
18,000, or you can go with a 30,000 and buy it once a year. If you go with a 30,000 and buy it once a year, then you could buy it in June at a very low price, because that's the cheapest month.
It comes on a tanker truck.
If we,
That should be enough for us to run a year.
if we do that, like when we go on long trips out of town, will somebody still come fill them up for us?
They'll still do that, plus I think y'all got cards now.
Yeah, we
So,
got.
truck stops.
We got fleet card now
Yeah.
Well, we need to see like what a payback will be on a big project like that, so we can kind of be thinking about it.
Okay.
If that's something y'all can,
18,000 gallon tank and setting it up with 2 pumps, I think they told me 175,000.
well, it'd be nice if we could see the, you know, the.
next
support of
thing-
that.
It's where would we put it?
You're gonna have to have a place to put it. I don't think they're gonna let you put it over at the shelf. Not,
At
nothing
shelf.
that big. And you got to have access for the tractor truck.
Okay.
That's really in a residential area too. What was the issue with the buses we were surplusing and we were getting a credit from the state if they were?
That's a lottery.
too. It's like pulling a rabbit out of a hat.
And
Really?
There's 159 counties and we just, not one of them they picked it.
Okay.
And we have 5, I think it's 5 junk buses sitting in the field
Yeah.
now.
Wow.
Yard
But
order.
didn't they tell you that they were gonna give us that?
You keep saying we in the pool,
What was the number per bus? I mean, it was a
30,000.
Up to-
30,000?
I thought it was about, yeah, so.
But you also
$150,000
gotta
if
pay
they got 'em.
them to destroy that bus when he gets the Cartersville.
That's right.
You have to pay somebody else to destroy that, so that's gonna come off of that 30.
So back to these 2 buses, basically it's gonna leave us a balance of $120,000, and that's already in our budget. That's in our budget.
Yes, sir, it was in our 24 budget, and I think I left it in the 25 budget, because I'm pretty sure Mr. Scott said he wanted to look into 2 buses a year.
And if we don't do it, we lose the 88 times 2, right?
Correct, it runs out June 30th of 25.
So if we go ahead and buy these 2 buses, I heard somebody say we need 2 more. We don't have any more grant money for those 2, right?
Not as of
Maybe
now.
they'll come out with a new one.
Well, that's what I was gonna say, there may be something in after June of 25 or
Maybe right
whatever.
after
Yeah.
the next
A new
fiscal year.
incentive to buy buses.
At the back of your mind, they went up $15,000 this year. 1 year's time, 15,000 increase.
I'll make a motion, go ahead and approve this as presented, buy the 2 buses.
I have a motion to buy the bus, I have a second by Mr. Madison, all in favor? Thank you, gentlemen. Okay,
All right.
next.
A couple of weeks ago during our budget hearings, we talked about increasing the substitute pay. And you guys know how hard it is to get substitute at times. Ms. Goldman sent me an email and spreadsheet of the number of hours, the number of spots that needed to be filled for teachers, and that's a lot of instructional time. But the problem is we don't have subs sometimes to cover those classes. And we have to move teachers from their rooms during their planning to cover classes, so they're not able to do the planning. We use paras also that's in classes that support kids to go cover another class. So either way, that's not good, because we want to make sure our kids receive the services they need. So in an effort to get more substitutes, what you have in front of you is the proposal to increase their pay. We did add a category based on the feedback we got from you guys at the budget meeting. We added teaching certificate. That was not there. So you see a day for having a teaching certificate as a sub is $125, college degree $100, and $90 for all others. You have a copy of that at your table. The old pay scale is attached as well in your packet, your physical packet. So we did go up quite a bit for those in less than 10 days and also the consecutive days. We can talk about bus drivers as well. We felt it's important to increase the substitute bus drivers. There were times I would listen on the radio, we were double routing and triple routing our kids because some drivers had to go to athletic events or field trips and just, we don't have enough subs to cover our routes. So I want to make sure we make it advantageous for them to want to drive for us financially.
Dr. Walski, Dr. Gold, y'all see any issues
No.
with this? You think this is a
only
good?
a positive. The numbers that I sent Dr. Gundy, based on our reports from this past year, there were only 10% of the days that I was fully staffed. So there were unfilled positions those other 90% of the time.
And I was normally fully staffed, but it was the same 3 subs all the time. And we hoarded them, and that's an issue. I had 2 or 3 subs that just said $60 is not worth me coming in.
I understand.
Y'all think it'll help then?
I don't think there's any negative to it.
May not solve it, but certainly help.
I drove every day last year.
So is this in our budget?
Mr.
Do we allow
Norman,
for this?
No, sir.
Do we know what the cost associated with it, like a grand total for each, budgeted grand total for each position? I mean, have we got any idea?
Well, you really don't know how many you're gonna use, I don't guess.
Well, you can go back.
You can look at
based on-
history.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can
on
look at that.
past history, and I'm kinda thinking about like the custodians and the bus drivers, you know what, well. So this is all substitute pay?
yes.
Okay.
Our biggest,
I've used one custodian this year one time for a sub custodian. Outside of that, it's Miss Hurst, and if she's between all 3 schools.
yeah, our biggest expense is probably gonna be at the elementary school. Do you know how many subs you had last year?
1,600 days around.
1,600 days?
Did,
And then
$30 a sub is close to 50 grand.
And all the teachers.
Where do you see $30? Oh, the
The
rate.
the difference between 70 and 100.
Okay, so how much? I ain't got my phone on it.
Around
16, what'd you say, 1,600 days?
$50,000, and that's
You
just.
talking about
on the elementary
$30 a
school.
day?
But those
I
are,
mean,
that's
$30
including
person.
parapros too, and the parapro increase is not
Oh,
as
okay.
much.
On average, you're talking about 1,600
Yeah,
times
you have
30.
a lot of parapros, so it's
Yeah.
probably close to,
That's $4,500, $4,800.
So how much? 35,000 at the elementary school, including parapros?
would probably be 50 total with everything else.
Well, everybody, everything. And our budget is how much in the deficit? 300,000, 350?
311, I think is what we approved.
What do the regular parapros make roughly a day?
It's kind of sad, to be honest.
Under minimum wage.
Yeah, I don't even know if they make.
So that's the next item too. So we have some
Oh, you got-
salaries.
Okay.
Yeah. On the high end, once they reach 13 years, the top pay is roughly 22,000 for parapro.
How much is that a day, Dylan?
I'm coming with it.
Where you go, calculator, man?
Well, he's got his out.
$100 a day.
How much?
100 for the highest.
How much?
$100 a day.
100?
That's how much you actually get paid?
The Paris.
Okay.
But that, I mean, that's not including the benefits that they get.
Okay. How much does a custodian get paid per hour?
$7.75.
No, I mean,
That's
that's
a-
a sub there. I was
Oh,
just curious.
I think they're around 13-ish on average.
I think my lowest is 12 something and goes up from there.
Highest is probably right around 15.
30,000 a year.
So is that the least problem you have finding a sub as a custodian, or which one?
No, it's,
All of them.
it's teachers in Paris.
That's the most
Yes.
problem.
Yes.
And least is custodian, mate.
Right,
And they just do without. So
Right.
if it's
They cover it.
5 custodians at a school, somebody's out and the sub can't come, then you got those 4 trying to do the whole school plus, I mean, their job and plus trying to pitch in to do the other one.
Oh, okay.
and it's a smaller percentage of employee that's a custodian compared to the 42 and 40, the 80 that I have.
I just thought $9 was kind of low to me. That's what I'm thinking in my mind, but I have no idea. That's just my opinion.
So if we're looking at 48,000 about for the elementary school, we're looking at that much more for the other 2 schools?
No, that was for all of them.
That was all of them?
Yeah, it's probably gonna be about 50 total.
50,000 total, okay.
Obviously, the bus drivers do it for the benefits and not the pay,
Absolutely.
because who's gonna get up that time in the
No,
morning and drive a
that's
bus?
exactly right, drive in the morning, drive
When
at
that- That's what Chris spent at lunch today.
And you gotta be so flexible, I mean, to be able to do it.
So I'm looking at the top sub up there, regular pay, 10 days or less. They got a $5 a day raise in 21, is that correct?
That's correct.
$5?
Yeah,
So that's
3 years.
From 16 to 21.
You did that.
I know I did it. I didn't know I did it. I'm sorry. And now we're asking to give them, yeah, that's more like it.
And Mr. Norman and I, we looked at several districts, so we probably looked at over 25 districts, and they all have a different scale and different requirements. Like some won't have a teacher certificate, they just say college degree all lumped in together. So we felt like this was pretty much at the upper end, middle to upper end of what some districts do. Now, of course, DeKalb, Gwinnett, all those bigger districts, they have the funding to do a little more.
You hate to increase spendings, but I don't see how you can't not do this.
Yeah, I mean, if we're already struggling trying to get them there, I mean, I know that, I've heard them
I'm
say.
like Chris, I think you need to change that $9 to $10.
So,
Is this gonna help you, Ms. Golden? Dr. Wolski? The
Definitely
ones that are
will.
kind of teeter-tottering whether they wanna work or not, will
Yes,
this
sir.
make them work?
This for our subs and the classroom subs? Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. I'll make a motion to approve that as presented, except I would like to do $10 for the custodian, but I don't know if that's acceptable. Or is that good with y'all?
Absolutely.
I'm okay with it.
I'm okay with that.
I'll second that.
I have a motion by Mr. Heitman, second by Mr. Madison. All in favor? Thank you, gentlemen. All right, the next thing we have is our pre-K salaries.
All right, more salary increases. So, Mr. Norman and Dr. Goldman received an email from Georgia Pre-K. I think Mr. Goldman received it around middle of June, this email, and then Mr. Norman received it at the end of June. So you can see Georgia Pre-K's proposal, or not proposal, this is what they're going to do. Yeah, this is what they're going to change the scale to. It really won't affect teachers because our teachers, their teachers now would just be in line with our regular teachers on the state salary schedule. So what we want to talk about is the assistant teachers, which are parapros. So if you look halfway down the page, another page, Miss, I'm gonna come back to that. Yes, you see that they're going to increase the assistant teacher salary by $5,551 just for their paras. So what we're requesting is to put all of our paras in that same salary line, salary schedule. So, Ms. Goldman, go to page 3. So as you can see, their assistants now, as when they change this policy, their assistants are going to make $25,741. Our current top paying para makes $22,000 a year. So to put them all in line, because again, pre-K was lower than the normal paras, so now pre-K is trying to get them up to par. We're requesting that we add the $3,000 to the salary schedule per line for the paras. And that's the next chart, is Dr. Goldman. So the current scale is at the top in white. So right now, if you walk in as a para with no experience, $17,711. In the yellow is the proposed, you'll start off at $20,711. And then as you see, both will that will put us at $25,435 for those who are at 13 years already, which is about a $3,000 increase.
So do you cap out at 13 years?
You cap out.
Most of
So a
our-
person who is 30 years as a parapro will make the same thing from year 13 to year 30 unless the governor does raises or this board does raises.
Most of our classified schedules, custodians, bus drivers, everything, well, not bus drivers, custodians, maintenance, parapros, is all 0 to 13 years of experience.
Okay.
So is this, y'all proposing this for all parapros or the pre-K
Pre-K, they're gonna already get it. That's a separate funding. They're gonna receive theirs.
from the
Separate
state?
From the state,
Okay.
yes.
We were proposing to raise the rest.
Through
to not
local
create
funds?
turmoil. Correct.
So this would
Well,
put,
Some of this will come from grant money.
So can you get some like actual dollar figures?
So how many pairs are we looking at?
Like special
23.
education, funding comes from the SPED department, and that'll pay for those particular paras. And I wanna say maybe 7 or 8 of them, out of the 26,
Correct. We have 23 other paras other than pre-K, so that's 69 grand at 3,000 apiece.
It was-
With benefits, it's close to 90, but I think we can do probably a third of that out of grant money.
yes.
So you're looking at 60,000 increase.
if we don't do this, does that mean that the pre-K parapros would be earning more than the parapros in 1 through?
They already have been. They
Okay.
have been, but this is a huge increase that the state is requiring
For the pre-K?
for the pre-K assistance
So
because it's a different funding source.
you got a lot to do with this paperwork right here, right?
We're doing what we're told from the state for the pre-K salaries.
But
So-
there's, I mean,
Well, it's such a drastic increase that all the other parapros,
yeah,
the scale needs to match.
yeah.
Would you believe that you would have first, second grade parapros want to go back to pre-K
So
parapros?
that's why we wanna make it even for all of them,
'Cause it seems-
so that she won't have that issue.
And right now, you don't have that issue, just with this increase mandated by the
They wanna
state.
go back
You're going to
for
have
that extra month.
parapros that want to move to pre-K.
Pre-K. So we're looking at 13 parapros that will get this with local money. 10 will come from a federal or state grant, and then pre-K. So really 13 paras.
60
That would come from
grand.
local.
Dylan
Well, that's
said
not as
60
bad. I
grand.
didn't know it was 13, so
Yeah.
Last
Last year we took 10 out of the state grants.
probably 45-ish.
Yeah,
So now we're down to 45.
About 40, yeah. So we're looking at $100,000 in salary
Yep, $100,000.
increases.
Well, food, at the grocery store, don't went way
Oh, I
up.
know it. Everything's up.
Do we have an emergency strategic plan in place in case we do run out of some money and we can cut back on something?
Mr. Norman and I talked this morning about our accounts at the banks and what we have, and the answer is yes, and it's up to us to be fiscally responsible, but I think we can start cutting a lot of supplies that we really don't need. So we're
Okay.
gonna offset these by making sure we take the cuts that are necessary to make sure that we
Okay.
balance.
We've got to be
Utilities,
power
we can,
bill, too.
yeah.
Yeah, that, there you
Absolutely.
go, there it is, right
Our
there.
bill can pay for it.
Yes,
I
sir.
want us to leave here and go down there, Dr. Wolski's building and see what it feels like.
That building don't have air conditioning, you gotta go in the rooms. So,
Well, that's what I'm talking about, I guess.
Yeah, that main hallway unit is out right now.
Okay, good, that's good, that's
So
really
the
great right
one in the
there.
gym,
Yeah,
the lights are off.
that's good too.
You need a motion on
Yes,
this?
we do.
Yes, sir.
We did-
Both of them, or can we do it as one?
No, it
We
is
already
one.
did one.
It is one.
Okay.
We did the
Do
first
that.
one. This will be the second.
I'll
one.
make a motion to approve it as presented.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Hyman, second by Mr. Madison. All in favor? Approve the pre-K salaries.
All right, all of the current policies for review are good as written. I'll entertain any questions.
Questions on any of those?
So dress codes are per school principal?
Yes, sir.
It's in the handbook.
We talked about that, the dress of a kindergartner versus the dress of an 11th grader is different, so it needs to be different in each handbook.
Okay.
Any questions about those? All right, next item will be superintendent's report.
Okay. Dr. Walsh, you can piggyback on this if you need to. Ms. Aycock, our CTA director, has been awarded a $15,000 grant to run a school store. And so last year at the CTA directors meeting, we heard from business people saying we need to make sure our kids have the skills necessary. Not just the physical skills, but the soft skills. And that's what they were saying that we definitely need. So having a school store is going to help teach these kids these soft skills. It's going to teach them hands-on experience. It's going to teach them customer service and actually working with people. So it is a real-world business for our kids every single day for this group. We hope that it'll expand beyond this year. This store will have school spirit gear. The classes themselves, construction or welding, they can make items for sale. We will be able to make our own engraving plaques for our academic and athletic programs. We can in-house all of that. So we think this is going to be good for our kids to have real-world life experiences in the classroom every single day. When the store is not open, of course, the teacher will then be able to teach these skills to the students, and she's able to monitor them as the class goes on and pretty much correct them right there on the spot if needed. So we're super excited about this class, and we just hope it expands, and we're grateful that she received that $15,000 grant to get us started. Anything else, Dr. Walski?
It's gonna be incorporated into work-based learning too. The students that are in the work-based learning component of it will help work the store. They will not get paid, but they'll fall into the work-based learning course.
Do we have a physical location for this store?
It'll be room 313, so if you're going down the main hallway to the cafeteria, when you probably pass the media center on the left, there's a little hallway, it's where Ms. Huff was at last year. We're gonna move her into there for the store only. A lot of the things will still be done in her classroom, and then Ms. Huff is actually gonna move to where Mr. Madden was last year.
Yeah, we heard loud and clear from the businesses about our kids, or not just our kids, but kids on cell phones while they're working. So Ms. Aycock will be able to address that immediately and handle that immediately and kind of show them what they should do and what they shouldn't do on the job. So they'll be learning every single
That
day.
is good.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's needed.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
And to go piggyback off what Dr. Gumby said about there's part of that grant, she actually is giving welding money, construction money to make certain products as almost like a,
Yeah.
to get them off the ground and selling things. So they'll all be getting a little bit of money to help start putting stuff in the store.
Sounds real good.
All right, upcoming events. Seems like school just ended and we're talking about start of the school for the next year already. New teacher orientation is June 22nd, 23rd. That's our new teachers as they come in and meet with their principals and get acclimated to our system. This year we have 6 days of pre-planning. That's July 25th through August 1st. Our welcome back meeting, which is our district luncheon, will be at 11:30 on July 25th. And you're all welcome. In the past, we've done a breakfast, but this year we're going to try to do a luncheon. So we'll try that. July 1st is open house from 4:30 to 6:30. And I can't believe I'm going to say this, but the first day of school, August the 2nd, already. We're already here.
Less than a month.
Yes. And I think the first football game scrimmage is Friday, August 5th.
5 weeks.
5 weeks.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Any other questions?
Chris wants a picture,
Just one picture
the dates.
of the date.
I have it in the packet back there for you.
Okay, I can keep it, I can keep it.
Yes, sir. It's yours.
Okay, good, all right.
And
I
if
can
you,
forward it to you.
if you go online, you can see all
Yeah, you know, baby.
that. I need a motion to go into executive session.
I make a motion to go into executive session.
All right.
Who's second?
Second. I'd like to call this July meeting back to order. The superintendent's recommended, and I make a motion that we hire Angel Dent, Patricia Wiggins, Barbara Knupp, and Patsy Murray for food service substitutes. Second by Mr. Mongery, all in favor? Superintendent's recommended, and I make a motion that we hire Laura Chambers as an English teacher for the upcoming school year.
Second.
Second by Mr. Madison, all in favor? Superintendent's recommended, and I make a motion that we hire Barbara Reynolds as a paraprofessional for the upcoming school year. Second by Mr. Heitman, all in favor? Superintendent's recommended, and I make a motion that we hire Todd Ware as a substitute bus driver and athletic driver for the school system. Second by Mr. Heitman, all in favor? Superintendent's recommended, and I make a motion that we hire Donnie Reed as a full-time bus driver for the upcoming year. Second by Mr. Heitman. All in favor? All right, I need a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Mr. Mongery, second by Mr. Heitman. Thank you, gentlemen.